Welcome to the Millcreek Government Channel. I'm Judy Zelina. Joining us on our program today, we have Brandon Kramer, and Brandon is the Executive Director of Millcreek Paramedics Service, Millcreek's very own paramedic service. So we're glad to have you on board, Brandon.
Thank you for having me back. It's good to be here.
I know you're busy. MPS is really busy, so thanks for taking the time.
I appreciate you having us back.
Okay, first thing I do want to let some of our viewers know that may not be aware of MPS. Why was it founded? What is the history on Millcreek Paramedics?
Millcreek Paramedics Service is the ambulance service for Millcreek Township. As most people are well aware, we have a system of volunteer fire departments in Millcreek Township that have been in many cases serving the township for 75, 80 years. Over that time, they developed first aid emergency service and then eventually ambulance service. Well, about 12 years ago, the call volume of emergencies in Millcreek Township, as we're a growing township, became so much that the volunteer departments in Millcreek Township came together to form a paid ambulance company to answer the call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's how Millcreek Paramedics Service was founded. So today we exist as the paid ambulance service. We keep paid paramedics and emergency medical technicians in our volunteer fire departments ready to respond to 911 medical emergencies. And work well with the fire departments who now exist as our owners and actually oversee the company.
That's exactly what I wanted to get at, that you guys do work with the fire departments.
Yeah, the fire departments are the owners. In fact, they govern Millcreek Paramedics Service by a volunteer board of directors.
Okay.
So my bosses, so to speak, are actually volunteer firefighters here in the township. So it reflects in Millcreek Paramedics Service, though we're a paid ambulance service, the spirit of the volunteer firefighter still shines through in that patient care we deliver every day, because ultimately I answer to the volunteers in Millcreek Township.
Because many times, Brandon, if you call 911, of course MPS comes, but sometimes the fire departments also are on the scene for different situations. Doesn't that happen sometimes?
It happens most of the time. It's really an optimal system. It's called a tiered response. And actually what we have here is a pager that most of our volunteer firefighters would carry on their hip. And the dispatch center, when there's an emergency 911 call, will activate this pager, and it actually gives the dispatch information. So the emergency medical technicians, the first responders from the fire departments can respond in their personal vehicles, or if they're at the firehouse, they'll respond in fire department equipment, along with Millcreek Paramedic Service with our paramedic and emergency medical technician. Now, where that really benefits our community is in a lot of cases, our volunteers will be driving by the actual residence of the call, and you'll have someone knocking on your door before you've even given all the information to the dispatcher. So it really improves our response time, gets our trained people in the township to the patient a lot faster. And it's a terrific system in terms of giving the most efficient and top quality patient care to our residents here in Millcreek Township.
It truly does. It sounds like with that system in place, you have all bases covered.
We do, and it's funny because people will say, you know, I was having chest pain, why did a fire truck show up? Well, it's all help. If you need help, you're going to get help, and if the people at the fire company are drilling that night, you're going to get a lot of people showing up to help you, and you can never have too much help in an emergency, so it's a good thing.
That is so true. Brandon, I want to clear up and clarify for sure. If someone does have an emergency, they're to call 911, correct?
Absolutely. Anytime anyone has a medical emergency in Millcreek Township or in Erie County, you must always call 911. You know, you teach it to the preschool kids as part of their training, and we preach it to our seniors on a day-to-day basis, because there is still some confusion out there with other numbers that have circulated over the years on what do I call for an ambulance in Millcreek Township. And that's sad that there's that kind of confusion out there. So if you need help, be it police, be it fire, or be it an ambulance emergency, just always dial 911.
Okay.
And you're going to get help.
Okay. Now, Brandon, you have to be a member of MPS, correct?
Not correct, and that's a common misconception. And membership's probably not the best term for the membership program that we have, because it does have the implication that if I'm not a member, I'm not going to receive the benefits of the service. Well, no. A membership is simply for the bill after the call has been completed.
All right.
It's after we take you to the hospital, we give you excellent care, everything checks out okay at the emergency department, and they send you home. It's to make sure you don't pay anything out of pocket for that ambulance. It doesn't have anything to do with, will I get help in an emergency even though I'm not a member. If you dial 911, we're going to show up and we're going to help you.
Okay, I wanted to let people know.
Right, and that's why sometimes membership may not be the best terminology because it has that implication that, well, I'd better belong or else I'm not going to get help. You will absolutely get help if you need it when you call 911, regardless of membership. But
there are benefits to having a membership if you are a Millcreek resident. You do have yearly what you call a membership drive, correct?
We do, and the membership drive does a few things. Number one, for the patient, there's a benefit. In this day and age, with all the medical care we can provide pre-hospital, when you get into, we put a heart monitor on that actually shows the electrical activity of your heart. We give medications, we'll do IVs, oxygen, the whole gamut that we can provide pre-hospital now. It costs a lot of money. Several hundreds of dollars, if sometimes not over $1,000, depending how much treatment you need on your way to the hospital. Question is, we always get at our office, does my insurance cover an ambulance ride? Well, it's difficult to say. There's so many different types of insurance plans that it's really difficult to say, well, this is what exactly your insurance. And a lot of times people don't find out what's covered until after the call.
Right.
And a lot of times they'll find that they have a $50 copay, a $100 copay. Sometimes it's not even covered at all, and it's complete out-of-pocket expense. So what a membership does is it says that as a member, when we take you to the hospital after the fact, when it's time to bill the insurance, if there's any out-of-pocket expense remaining from that emergency call that we provided service for, you'll pay nothing. And that's for one emergency, 10 emergencies, and I hope nobody needs to use us 10 times a year, but if they did, they're covered and they'll pay nothing out of pocket for the membership. So that's a huge benefit for our patients and our residents here in Millcreek Township. Now there's another benefit, and one that we haven't really spoken about as much. We always focus on the patient benefit, that they don't pay anything out of pocket, but the other benefit is that the membership funds are crucial to buy the new equipment, to train our staff, to pay for our staff, to bring the top quality talent here to Millcreek Township. It's vital funding to help provide that emergency service. Millcreek Paramedics service receives no tax funding. A lot of municipalities in the country, the taxes support ambulance service. And here in Erie County, I don't know of any service actually that receives any tax funding. We all kind of operate off of what we can generate in terms of service. So when we take you to the hospital, we bill your insurance.
All right.
And we're compensated for that.
Okay.
So that's how we run our operation.
And you accept what you're compensated for, basically, because that's why there's no cost to me from your service.
If you have a membership,
if you have a membership.
So let's say, for instance, you take an ambulance to the hospital and there's a $500 bill, and your insurance says we're going to pay $400. That leaves you with a $100 balance.
Right.
As a member, you don't pay anything. We accept the insurance payment as full. That's simply how the membership works.
What is the cost of a membership?
The cost of a membership, and we do it two different ways. We can do it as an individual or as a family membership. And a family is anyone you would claim in your household for taxes, if you wanted to get technical. So it's individual is $35 and a family membership is $45. And we also offer a 2-year membership option, again, for an individual and for family, and that runs $60 and $80 respectively. So for some people, they like to know they're covered for 2 years in advance and not have to worry about a renewal. It just seems to be the simple option for them.
I'll tell you, MPS really, I can't stress the wonderful service that you provide here for our Millcreek residents.
Thank you very much.
And I also, Brandon, want to bring up the fact, when people think of an ambulance and having to maybe get become a member of MPS, right away you might think, well, that's for senior. That's for somebody that's really old. Maybe they're starting to get sick. I am here to tell you, just as a family, you should have it. It doesn't matter your age. I know when I got sick, honestly, I was not a member. I just thought, well, I'm never going to use an ambulance service. Not now, I'm too young. Well, guess what?
It's a wonderful peace of mind to have, especially if you do need an ambulance, regardless of age. Usually it's a very traumatic event in someone's life to have to use an emergency ambulance.
Right.
And the last thing you want to have to worry about is a bill.
Exactly.
After everything's said and done. And we always like to say, after we take good care of you, get you to the hospital, everything works out and you get to go home.
Okay.
And the last thing you want is a bill. Now, the other thing too, again, regardless of age, is that as a member, you're helping to contribute to your community's ambulance service, your own ambulance service here in Millcreek Township, because the dollars from your membership are reinvested right back into the community. So you, as a 30-year-old member, may not need the ambulance, but your neighbor who's 75 years old and has chest pain may need it, and your membership dollars help fund all the equipment that goes into providing their care as well.
And this is how you keep all your equipment as state of the art.
Correct.
Yeah, you do. You guys really do a good job.
It's a very good system.
Yes, it really is. Now, you do provide other services other than just emergency transport, correct, Brandon?
We do. We do. We have a nice array of transportation services. We offer wheelchair transportation service and medical taxi transportation service.
What are those?
Wheelchair is pretty self-explanatory. It's for people that are wheelchair bound. We have vans that are lift capable, that we can transport people to doctor's offices, to clinic appointments, and those types of appointments. A medical taxi is actually just a van without the lift, where if somebody has medical conditions and they simply need a ride to an appointment, but they don't want to take a taxi because they have difficult time getting in and out, or there's medical conditions where, say, they need to be on oxygen, we can continue to provide that in our medical taxi. We offer that service for those types of people. And we also offer non-emergent ambulance transportation. A lot of times after, say, a surgery, someone will have to be stretcher bound and they're not able to sit upright for a while, and a doctor can actually write an order for a stretcher transportation. We'll provide that too, between like a surgery center and a hospital, or hospital and rehab facility, those kind of things.
And that would be covered.
And if
you're a member, that would be covered.
If you are a member and it is a medically necessary transport, which means a physician has ordered it, you're absolutely covered. You pay nothing out of pocket. So again, another benefit of membership, to make sure you don't pay anything out of pocket while you're going through all this rehabilitation and treatment. It's nice to know that it's one less bill you're going to have to worry about.
Okay, I know in Erie County we've got different hospitals, different medical facilities, but outside of Erie County, there are other medical facilities. Are you able to transport me to different hospitals?
Absolutely. First thing is, let's talk emergencies first.
Okay.
Because if someone's having a medical event, obviously we don't want to take you all the way to Pittsburgh. That wouldn't be in the best interest of the patient.
No, we're going to go close.
Right. So a lot of times people ask the question, well, your Millcreek Paramedics service, does that mean you only take us to Millcreek Community Hospital? Well, Millcreek Community Hospital has been a tremendous supporter of Millcreek Paramedics since our inception. However, we do take people to a hospital of their choice. If they want to go to Hammett or St. Vincent, we'll transport there, and that's usually where we transport. Millcreek Community will transport. That's for emergencies.
And that would be my request also. If I said I wanted to go to a particular hospital, that's where you'll take
patient
me.
request, and if by chance you can't speak for yourself, there's no family present, there's actually protocols put in place by the state of Pennsylvania that actually says what would be the closest appropriate medical facility for whatever your condition at the time, a trauma center or a stroke center, those kind of things.
All right.
Now for non-emergency, we go much further.
All right.
And we can go to Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Buffalo, and that's for all different types. If you need a medical taxi, a wheelchair van transport, or if you need to go by ambulance on a stretcher, we can do that as well. And we've gone all over, Philadelphia, Baltimore. Not often. Most of the times it's to Pittsburgh, Cleveland, or Buffalo, but we do sometimes go extremely long distances.
Now, that is what you consider non-emergency.
Correct.
That's maybe if somebody's going for treatments.
Correct. That's scheduled ahead of time.
They're not able to sit in a car or something like that.
It would be scheduled ahead of time. We would plan for that. If you're going to Philadelphia, obviously we need to send more than our usual crew, because you need people to alternate as drivers and those kind of things.
Okay, and also the same thing with the wheelchair transport. Say somebody has to have treatments twice a week. You would call your office. They would call your office and they schedule that. Is that how that works?
Right. Anytime anybody needs to schedule a transport, we ask for as much advance notice as possible, but we'll try to accommodate if somebody has, short notice. Say their physician all of a sudden has a spot open up for them. Boy, can you guys get me? We'll do our best. The schedule does book up fast, so we ask for as much advance notice as possible. And all you have to do is call our main office, and it's 836-8677, and we'll take care of getting you scheduled.
Okay. Now, Brandon, once I get my membership, when does it go into effect, and also how long is that going to cover me for?
Well, if you sign up today, your membership will go into effect as soon as your payment clears.
All right.
A lot of people will say, well, I don't have my membership card yet. Does that mean I'm not covered? No. The membership card is simply for the patient to have. So they have proof for themselves, sort of like a receipt. That it means once your payment's gone through and you're in our system, you're covered.
All right.
So we have that because we'll have a lot of times where someone's having a medical emergency and a family member's rifling through the papers looking for a membership card. We don't need to see it. It has nothing to do with what our crew does during the emergency. It's for everything after the fact. So if you sign up today, your membership would cover you all the way through November 30th of 2012.
All right.
That's the expiration date. Now, if you sign up for the 2-year membership today, it would cover you all the way through November 30th of 2013.
And that is no matter when I've signed up. If I've signed up in January, if I've signed up in November beforehand, if I have signed up in July, I'm covered till November, correct?
Right, that's correct. Under this membership drive, you'll be covered until at least 2012 under the one-year membership.
All right, okay. Now, can I join in the middle? And I can join in the middle of the year, correct?
You can join any time of the year, but the problem is that you don't reap as much of the benefit now because the expiration date's not going to change. It's not going to be a rolling expiration based on when you signed up. It's based on the entire drive. So that's why we have our membership drive and we advertise when it goes into effect, because that's the time to take the most advantage, I guess, of how much coverage you'll be provided. Okay,
say I have a membership. Now, do I have to mark my calendar and remember November? Because honestly, Brent, I have too much on my mind. Do I have to remember to renew?
No, you don't. We have everyone's name on our list, and we send out a renewal application specifically to our members.
Thank you.
So it will be out. It usually comes out early fall, and we try to time it with about when the membership's to expire, and we'll send out the renewal mailing.
Okay. Brandon, I guess I wanted to talk a little bit about emergency transport again.
Okay.
All right. I just want to go over again for our viewers. If I have an emergency, I call 911, you come and pick me up.
Right.
Okay, you're going to take me to the nearest medical facility.
Or facility of your choice here in Erie County.
All right.
Closest appropriate facility, yes.
Okay, again, explain to the viewers, how does that work with your insurance company?
When we complete the transport, we do a chart.
Okay.
Just like they do in the hospital, we'll complete a patient chart, and that's billed to the insurance. And the charges are set and based on the level of care you received en route to the hospital. So if we've had to go through all the treatment with medications and advanced airway techniques, IVs, those kind of things, the bill would be higher than if we took you in for a sprained ankle, splinted your ankle, and put an ice pack on it.
Okay. All right, now, okay, there are different ambulance services in Erie County. Do I have to join both to make sure I'm covered wherever I am in Erie County? How does that work?
The rule of thumb we've always advocated is we suggest you join the ambulance service in the community in which you live. So if you live in Millcreek Township, we would suggest join Millcreek Paramedics. If you live in Fairview, Girard, Lake City, we would say join West County Paramedics. And if you live in Franklin Township, Edinburgh, and McCain, we would say Central County Paramedics. That way you ensure that all your membership dollars are reinvested into your own community. It stays right into the community. Now, there is concern saying, well, I go to church in Erie, and what if I fall in church, and will you guys come and pick me up in the city of Erie? Well, no. The City of Erie has designated an ambulance provider, and under that membership program, the City of Erie, I'm sure, would want all those membership dollars funded in and funneled in to help build up their own system. So the local designated service will take you to the hospital, but the Millcreek Paramedics Service membership covers you anywhere in Erie County. We get that question a lot because people will go out to Northeast for some of the festivals out there, or they're at a family picnic in Edinburgh, or they go to church in Erie is probably the most common we hear. And they always want to know, will I be covered with my Millcreek Paramedic Service membership? Absolutely. And one of the additional benefits that we actually cover, and I think Millcreek Paramedic Service may be the only membership to still do this in Erie County, is if a volunteer ambulance service also takes you in, rather than a paid ambulance provider, you're also still covered anywhere in Erie County under your Millcreek Paramedics Service membership. And that's something that a lot of people won't know until it's kind of too late, whether or not that they were covered or not. It's nice to know, at least with the Millcreek Paramedics Service membership, that's always going to be covered anywhere in Erie County.
Okay. Well, Brandon, how does that work? If I'm hurt say, somewhere in Erie County and it's not Millcreek, okay, and I'm a member of Millcreek Paramedics, how does that work? Because is the bill going to go to you if I tell them I'm a member?
Let's start from the beginning of the emergency. The very first thing we always do, of course, is dial 911. And if you're in Harbor Creek, you're going to get Harbor Creek Fire Department is going to take care of you. You know, it's not going to be Millcreek Paramedic Service running all the way out to Harbor Creek.
All right.
Harbor Creek's taking care of it.
Okay.
They got you covered.
Okay.
So they're gonna make sure you get help.
All right.
You get to the hospital, and again, everything's fine. And you go home, and now you have this bill that you received. As a Millcreek Paramedic Service member, all we would ask you to do is send the bill into our office, and we'll take care of any out-of-pocket expense. Now, of course, it gets billed to insurance, regardless of who takes you to the hospital. But if there's any out-of-pocket expense to you, forward that to us, and it's covered under your membership.
So I would get a bill.
Sure.
I see, but then you'll take care of it if I am signed up as a member for Millcreek.
We'll take care of it so you don't pay anything out of pocket. Insurance will still get billed.
Okay.
Remember, that's how all these ambulance services generate their revenue.
All right.
We don't, no one here, as far as I know in Erie County, receives any tax money, so we bill insurance for the services we provide. So the membership makes sure you don't pay anything out of pocket.
Okay. Here, I wanted to ask too, if I get hurt someplace in Erie County, can I request you? Can I say, well, as I'm laying here with my broken leg, can Brandon come and pick me up? No, can I request MPS? Do people, how does that work?
It does happen. I think it's a testament to the high quality service we provide that people would want to request us, but in an emergency service, it's not always in the best interest of patient care to prolong a response time.
You want the patient to have the quickest, most efficient
Each community in Erie County is provided that if you're visiting or you live there, that when you have an emergency, you're going to get timely and efficient emergency response. And there's no reason not to have your faith in that system. They're going to take care of you. So would it be efficient for us to come running from Millcreek Township to get you in Northeast? No. Is that going to be the best care for you? No. You're going to get great care once we get there, but you might be waiting a while. We don't advocate that at all. We always advocate you dial 911. You're going to get who has been locally designated to help you.
All right.
And then your membership will make sure that regardless of what remains after the insurance is paid our bill, you will pay nothing out of pocket. Okay.
I also want to reiterate that even if I don't have a membership to any paramedic service, if I call 911, I am still going to get an ambulance or emergency assistance, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You don't have to be a member to receive the help. All you have to do is dial 911 and help will be on the way. Now, if I want to join, how can I get a hold of an application, Brandon? Two things. One, stop in the Millcreek Township building here and see Carol at the front desk. We have the brochure set out right out front and should be happy to pass one along. Or you can call our office during normal business hours and 836-8677, and we'll be happy to send one out to you. Okay, and I know you also have a website. We do. That people can go to if they have any other questions. Just check maybe on some more services that you may provide. Quickly, I do want to mention to Brandon, and I did not know this, that MPS provides education services to different businesses and organizations. Correct? Yes, part of our mission in serving the community isn't just running the emergency calls and the non-emergency transport. Part of it is training as well. There's been a big initiative here in the township to train as many people as possible for CPR. Okay. Time to CPR saves lives, and we've had a big movement to try to do that. We do have an education department. Anyone seeking first aid and CPR training, again, call the office at 836-8677, and we'll get you set up. Okay. You guys are the whole package, let me tell you. You do. We like to think so, thank you. You do a great job. Brandon, I know how busy you are. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you very much. Again, if the viewers have any questions or want to join or anything, what is the phone number for your office again? 836-8677. Okay, and if I want to support my local emergency services, how can I best do that? Three things you have to do here in Millcreek Township to support your local emergency service, and that's your fire departments, Westlake, West Westridge, Bell Valley, and Kearsarge. Always dial 911, number one. Always dial 911. Police, fire, or ambulance emergency, 911 is the number to call. Okay. Number two, support your local volunteer fire department through the donation drive. That comes up once a year. It's important that everybody donate to their volunteer fire department, here and in Erie, all throughout Erie County. And three, become a Millcreek Paramedics Service member. Okay,
Brandon, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, give them a call if you're not a member. Please take the time and become a member for a single or family. It's really worth it. Thank you for tuning into the Millcreek Government Channel. Till next time, have a wonderful day.